40 straight minutes of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2. That's it. That's the video. What's going on, guys and girls? It's Zach from SwitchForce, and tomorrow is our Christmas the Big early year Nintendo Direct. The first of 2022 is ready to roar at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern. And we're going to be streaming it to party together an hour before. Click the link in the description down below if you want to join the fun. But today's video is all about predictions. All right, we're looking inside of our crystal ball, and we're going to try to figure out what is going to show up at tomorrow's show. One that I think will go down as one of the best in Nintendo's entire Direct history. Now hit that like button if you're excited for the big reveals tomorrow, and let me know in the comments down below what games you think are going to be there. All right, we're going to go through third party, safe bets, medium safe bets, and then kind of our hopes and dreams. And let's kick it off with some third party. I think it's a fun place to start, and I believe we will get the full reveal of the Batman Arkham collection that we saw leaked via the French retailer, and that's a pretty nice get. We talk about franchises that still need to come to Switch. We think Fallout, we think Dead Space, I think we think Batman. So getting this on board on Switch will be pretty nifty. The French website listed an August release date. I could see it happening anytime in the summer. Now, I think Electronic Arts will finally get back on board with Switch because we've heard that the Mass Effect Legendary Collection was supposed to come at some point. Not day and date, and it sure as heck wasn't. And we know EA doesn't really believe in the Switch like we do, but I think, hey, they finally get Commander Shepard on the system and continue another awesome, beloved, fan-favorite franchise making its way to Switch, a platform that has just about everything. Now, one of the first big franchises that made a commitment to the Switch was Borderlands. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see Borderlands 3 get announced for Nintendo Switch. I wonder if they took the last 2.5 years to prep a Switch port. We've got the previous Borderlands games on the platform, and with Tiny Tina right around the corner for other systems, it would be nice to have something to say, hey, Switch owners, buy me. Now, Borderlands 3 is a much bigger Borderlands than any of the previous Borderlands, but it's not doing too much terribly crazy. I do believe you could get that to work on Switch, and this would be a nice place to announce it and say, hey, like the big franchises, maybe they're a little old, but they are coming to Switch. Now let's move to safe bets. These are the things I think most likely to appear at the Direct, like we can count on them. And we'll go through the easy ones, which are Kirby and the Forgotten Land getting another mention, Advance Wars 1+2 Reboot Camp getting its like official release date, even though we know it's April 8th. And then I think Splatoon 3 getting a substantial portion of the show is definitely a safe bet as well. I bet we do find out the release date, and I'm guessing it's going to be either May or June. I bet we find out more about the multiplayer, how that's evolved, maybe a new co-op mode, since I don't think Salmon Run was a star-studded hit. It's fun, but I think they can do better. And then really find out if the single player is much more expansive than we've experienced in the past Splatoon titles. Plus, this is the opportunity to reveal new characters if there are any, like the Callie and Marie that are going to sort of sing into our hearts come this summer. I'm super pumped for Splatoon 3, and I do think that will be like one of the tentpole segments in tomorrow's show. Now, I also think a brand new Fire Emblem game is considered a safe bet. There have been a lot of leaks and rumors, and they all point to a new Fire Emblem being ready to go. Intelligent Systems is smart, and Three Houses was a huge success. The franchise is awesome and very much a building, growing audience. I think we see the new game tomorrow, and I do think it gets a release date. I'm predicting it's probably around July. I think that feels like a nice slot for it. Spaces it out from Triangle Strategy, doesn't take up one of the fall release windows, and I think it's going to be a nice evolution. You know, we've seen Zelda and Mario and Pokemon all grow up on Switch, and I think it's Fire Emblem's turn tomorrow. Now, I'm going to close out the safe segment with Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2. I do feel like it is going to show up in some capacity. And to me, I say, hey, it's still confirmed for 2022 based on the investor call. They opted to skip the Game Awards, and we haven't heard from them in a long time. I think it's time to start the drum roll for Breath of the Wild 2's big rollout. And while we might not get a specific release date, I think it's darn time we get the name. I think a new trailer with the name and the story, and maybe like a shortened window, fall 2022, winter 2022, something of the sort would really help narrow things down and start to build that buzz that will pick up around E3 time in the summer and then culminate in a release, hopefully before we see the end of the calendar year. Already, this is an incredible show, and you can see why I'm saying this one is going to be one for the record books. Nintendo's 2022 is poised to be massive, and we just don't know a ton. I mean, we know like bits and blobs, but we don't know specifics. And so as we move into our medium predictions category, I'm going to kick it off with one that has been rumored and I think is very likely. This is the top of my medium list, and that's 1-2 Switcheroo, 1-2-3 Switch, 1-2 Switch sequel. I hope they doll this one up in a better coat of paint. I hope they bring in Nintendo characters, more fun mini games, online play, find a way to make it exciting, because we've seen that people are going to laugh about the casual game for this year, and it's clear that everyone is hinting at a 1-2 Switch sequel. A launch game that was overpriced and gimmicky, had some cool ice cube tech and some cow milking antics, but didn't last long and definitely should not have cost that much. I'll be super curious to see how Nintendo decides to repackage this one, how they decide to reveal it, and if they can win us over, because there is a spot for like a Wii Sports, Wii Party type game to do really well. They just need to reconfigure 1-2 Switch, and I really hope it's not the same game, just with different mini games, because yeah, then we will all be laughing. What about something totally different for this Nintendo Direct? What about a movie trailer? Now we know two things. One, the Super Bowl is on Sunday, and that is a prime spot to debut big new movie reveals. And two, we know that Charles Martinet liked to tweet about Nintendo Direct. Now, that could be totally random, but I'm going to piece these two together and say this would be a fine spot for the Mario movie reveal. I feel like Nintendo would want to house it first at their Direct, and then hey, they could drop it off to the Super Bowl ad folks and say, show it to the rest of the world. Now maybe this is something that's saved more for this summer, as trailers seem to come out a bit closer to release these days, but I would be beyond stoked to see their vision of the Mario movie and what the heck Chris Pratt's voice is going to sound like, and how Jack Black is doing Bowser, and what all the characters look like in their full-on Illumination Studios glory. I think this could be the spot where we get to see the first trailer, and if not, I'm going to predict it again for the next Direct, because I really believe it's going to happen at one of Nintendo's own shows. Now after Fire Emblem, there's two other first-party games that have been getting heavy mentions and have a lot of heat right now. The first is Xenoblade Chronicles 3, which I think could absolutely show up. Apparently that game was going to be shown off in 2021, and then delays kind of silently pushed it back into this year. Now, I think Nintendo would want to release this more towards the end of the year. That seems to be what they did with Xenoblade Chronicles 2, so I don't know if this is one that shows up here or it's saved for that summer Direct, but there's a good chance, and we did see one of the composers of the game say, hey, my new project should be revealed in February, so it definitely has a nice medium likelihood of showing up tomorrow. The other game is Metroid Prime Remastered, one we've heard about really for ages, because initially it was the Metroid Prime trilogy, and then it evolved to just Metroid Prime Remastered. Saw a lot of rumors about it last year, and they have picked up steam in 2022, and I think this would be a great game for like the August window. And if Nintendo wants to talk about that now, they could do just that. We know Prime 4 is a ways away, but Dread definitely built a lot of hype for this franchise, and maybe they want to capitalize on that and move it forward. Now, Nintendo could also opt to show off some interesting DLC, or at least tease it. And after the whirlwind success of Pokemon Legends Arceus, dropping 6.5 million copies in its first week, a tease towards the DLC and the expansion pass for this game is, I think, probable. Now, you could say maybe it's saved for a Pokemon Presents. We don't know what's really coming for Pokemon. Maybe there is a Presents more towards the summer season, but an Arceus DLC tease would kind of keep the momentum going and give fans something to look forward to, spending even more Poké Dollars on. Now, we could also see DLC for Mario Party Superstars, a game that really performed well, selling nearly 6 million copies over the holiday season. We know Super Mario Party is just, it sold like gangbusters. It's on the top 10 and did ridiculously well. Mario Party Superstars has the nostalgia, and it has fertile ground for so many more boards. I would pay good money for more of my favorite boards throughout the GameCube and N64 Mario Party series, and I do hope we see some significant DLC, and I hope it's added in to Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack. Okay, that needs to get a mention as well, and a segment on Nintendo Switch Online is also a medium likelihood. I think they've done a good amount lately with their monthly N64 reveals, but at the same time, they can definitely do more, and with Microsoft and Sony always bolstering their online affairs, now's Nintendo's chance to really say, hey, Game Boy or more DLC or something totally new, like it's definitely time. We know that it's also time for Kirby's big anniversary, and they've said over there like, hey, we're gonna do a lot of stuff. Forgotten Land will definitely get mentioned, will definitely be here, but I think a Kirby crossover is possible. Kirby cross Animal Crossing seems like a great fit. I know that Animal Crossing has said no more major updates, but they are missing the Zelda characters, and maybe they'd like to bring in some Kirby villagers too. That would be a nice new piece of content, considering the Sanrio villagers are old, the Zelda villagers are old, even the Splatoon villagers are old, but this could also set the stage for a couple of new crossover packs throughout the year to support New Horizons. A Kirby pack, a Splatoon pack, and a Zelda pack, all kind of tied to these games' releases, would be really great promotion, really fun for AC&H fans, and I think really cool to see for the respective franchises trying to celebrate different anniversaries and releases. Now maybe there's just another Kirby game waiting in the wings, and we could see that tomorrow as well, but I'd much prefer to see Hollow Knight Silksong. It feels hard to predict this one because there hasn't been a peep from Team Cherry in forever. I saw the game at E3 2019, and that was forever ago. When will this game appear? I feel like it has built up enough clout to not show up at an indie world. It will be at a direct, I strongly think. Is that tomorrow? Is it saved for E3 season? I'm not so sure, but hey, let's throw it in there. Hollow Knight Silksong, I'd love to be right. I know a bunch of you would love to be right about this as well. It would be a great place for it, and it's a great early year, like first half game to drum up the indie support and kind of get the eShop flowing. Everybody would buy it instantly, and if they want to be wild and do a surprise drop, boom. They just won a good chunk of 2022. Pokemon Legends Arceus, Hollow Knight Silksong, all in the first 2 months. Wow, wow, wow. We've now made it to the oh my gosh, I hope so predictions section. And honestly, I only have a few because I think a lot of this direct is easy to sort of guesswork your way through. I don't know exactly what's going to be there, but we have so many candidates based on what Nintendo has said and hasn't said, based on what leaks have said and haven't said, that I think we can kind of plan it out. But I'll throw a few your way, and the first is, of course, Mario Kart 9. Now, I would be absolutely ecstatic to see this show up. I don't know, if they don't have anything with Breath of the Wild 2, if Xenoblade Chronicles 3 really isn't ready, maybe they do tease Mario Kart 9 as the big holiday game. The February Direct has been a great place to tease the big fall hitter, and maybe this is it. Now, I can't really see Nintendo deciding to drop Zelda Breath of the Wild 2 and Mario Kart 9 like in back-to-back months, but maybe they're just ballsy. Maybe they want to go all out. Remember, 2017 did have Zelda, Mario Odyssey, and Mario Kart. That was pretty cool. Would they dare do that again? Could there be a Mario Odyssey? I don't think so. Mario seems like he might have a light year, and maybe the movie fills in and kind of takes that spot. But hey, I will be just perfectly pleased if Mario Kart 9 shows up, even if we just get like some tire tracks and quick bursts of a bunch of characters. They do it up Smash Bros. Style. That would be awesome. My next sort of pie-in-the-sky prediction would be the Donkey Kong game. We've heard a lot about it, but it doesn't feel like there's as much buzz as there is around Xenoblade or Metroid or Fire Emblem. It's kind of faded into the background, and I wonder what Nintendo is doing with this one and when it's planned to release. If they're able to Bowser's Fury up Donkey Kong, if they're able to Kirby in the Forgotten Land Donkey Kong, it's going to be incredible. And we know that Nintendo has a heavy focus on DK because of anniversaries and because of the theme park expansion coming, so this is probably in the works. I'm just not sure if it's ready for tomorrow. What could be ready though is Mario versus Donkey Kong. Who remembers these games back in the handheld era? I like to look and see something smaller that Nintendo can do. Like when they did Box Boy plus Box Girl, I was thinking of a Pushmo sequel. That would actually be really neat. Fantastic puzzle game from back on the 3DS, and it would be great to get the next sequel, Pushmo, Crashmo, Stretchmo, Switchmo, whatever they want to call it. But that's also Intelligent Systems, and I'm not sure that they would have Fire Emblem ready to go and a new puzzle game ready to go. They could, but that's why I settled on Mario vs. Donkey Kong. It is a good time for DK, and maybe they don't have the full game ready. Mario vs. DK is sort of an interesting side-scrolling puzzler, could be a perfect $20, $30 fit on the eShop, and I'd really love to see Nintendo explore more of that category of games. I know they dropped $10 with WarioWare Get It Together, and that was nice, but I'd like to see games kind of even go more mid-range. Like $30 would be great. Something you would have played on the 3DS, now you can play it on the Switch on the eShop. That would be really cool, and so Mario vs. Donkey Kong is my pick. And my final last pie-in-the-sky prediction that is more of just like a joke prediction, I'm gonna throw it out there in case it happens, is ARMS 2. All right, y'all let me know in the comments down below what you think of my list, which ones you think are really likely, which ones you think are unlikely, and then give me your top predictions in the comments down below. Make sure to join me for the stream. The link is in the description. We'll be starting an hour early, getting ready, and we will party through Nintendo's premiere show for 2022. I cannot wait. I'm so excited. I hope to see you there. Until that time, everybody, stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy, stay positive. I love you a lot. Appreciate you even more. SwitchForce out.